Members don't like to talk about it, but it's kind of a sad state of affairs that we're entering the 7th year of Congress not receiving a raise. Now, I understand all of the difficulties that we are faced with when we do by ourselves what is right in going to the public, but I have no hesitancy whatsoever in telling the people that I earned the dollars that they pay here, and I believe everybody else does. But let me tell you where we are headed. Pretty soon, and in 10 or 20 years, at the rate that we're going, and it doesn't appear anytime soon that there will be the political will in a body as weak as this one to try and get an appropriate raise. It used to be that we were connected to federal judges, and I was very pleased that federal judges finally got the increase that they rightly deserved. But they left us in a position where now, in order for us to get a raise, we have to go to the public and prove that we deserve it. Well, I think we do. I think every man and woman that comes here deserves it. And I'm going to use myself as a for example. When my mother died, all 3 of my children are grown. My mom died. I decided, well, you know, I'm not going to live in a hovel up here any longer, and I'm not going to be anything less than comfortable at my age and stage. So I moved to a new building over near Union Station called Senate Square. The rent at that time was $2,100. 7 years passed, or 6 years passed, and that rent went to $3,100. I moved in December to yet another building that's comfortable, not nearly as comfortable as that one, but back to the $2,100 in that 6-year period of time in order to be able to have any discretionary income at all. Now, I don't like the fact that there are more people that stick up for themselves around here, but I do know that there are members who have small children, small ranging from birth, little bitty babies, up to 10 and 11. And when it starts to hit is at about 14, 15, 16, when people realize that on the salary that they make, they're going to be unable to send their children to college and assume that all of our children will be great students and get scholarships, but that isn't the case for every member here. Now where we are headed is to becoming an elite institution. And I predict for you 20 years out that the only people that will be able to serve in this institution will be people who are wealthy. And that's unfortunate. It will leave a lot left to democratic values for us to be in that position. I didn't offer an amendment largely for the reason that I thought that it wouldn't pass. But there's another point of ridiculousness that we allow for. It's been 30 years, and I stand to be corrected. I think it's 30 years since the $3,000 tax credit is allowed for members for living expenses. I don't know. I know it was here when I got here, and I'm here now coming up on 22 years, and nothing is changing in that regard. There's no man or woman here that can live in this city at $3,000. And people, let me tell you what people think. People think we live up here free. They think we all have chauffeurs. They think we eat free. You know, that we don't have to buy groceries. And they perceive this place as the shining city on the hill where everybody is doing well. The least we could have done for ourselves is to give us a tax credit. There's enough nerve here to do what many members who served in state legislatures did have as one advantage, and that is per diem, so that we could be paid for the time that we work. So if I stand as the only person, I didn't bother with Mr. Schuster. The answer to the situation with reference to transportation is a gasoline tax. The answer to many of the situations, particularly having to do with war, is to tax people, including me, to pay more. And if we don't start saying that, then we're only grinding ourselves into the dust. And I don't think that that's how we should treat ourselves, the staffs that are here, and certainly I don't think it's the fault of Mr. Graves or Ms. Wasserman Schultz. I think both of them readily understand what I just got through saying, and I will say it until I leave, that members deserve to be paid, staff deserves to be paid, and the cost of living here is causing serious problems for people who are not wealthy to be able to serve in this institution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think that the American people should know that the members of Congress are underpaid, and you know, I understand that it's widely felt that they underperform, but the fact is that this is the board of directors for the largest economic entity in the world, and a lot of members can't even afford to live decently when they're at their job in Washington.
Are you referring to the ones that sleep in?
Yeah, that's some of them, and others have small little apartment units, and they don't have time to. They're not able to spend the time they should with their families. So I just think it's an important thing for the American people to be aware of, that they should be entitled to per diem as is provided in for most state legislators.